Hello everybody, I am Baltmatrix and welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a look at a grab bag of figures from SirToys.com. Now for those of you that aren't aware, SirToys.com has unfortunately shut down at the time of this review, that being May 22nd, 2023, and I just wanted to say thank you to SirToys for, existing. Just a reminder, I do have a Patreon, link is down in the description. No pressure for you to join up or throw any money in at me anyway, but every dollar does help me grow the channel and continue to get figures. We're going to start off with these little dudes that were packaged in. The first one is this little crane that just simply flips out the front, and then we've got a little tiny robot. This is based off of the Minicon that came with Red Alert back in Transformers Armada. So, yeah, cute little guy. The next one is this military Jeep that barely transforms. It's, again, just flip out the front, but then it can't stand up. You can flip the legs around, but then it just falls forward. I already have one version of this figure, and it was just as bad then as it is now. I keep thinking, oh, well, maybe there's a way I can get the leg to, or the front of the vehicle to fold in more. Nope. And then we have this green tape, which unfolds into ram horn, a little tiny ram horn that its front legs are much too long. And that's cute, but man, that thing is thin. I mean, I could snap this with my eyelids, I think. But still, it's cute. I like it. And then we have this little one that transforms, this pink one that transforms into Slugfest. And I reviewed much larger versions of these little tapes a while ago. Still, it is cute. I like the fact that we have a little Slugfest. It's adorable, and it's in hot pink and green. It's so cute. And next up from the WTF Factory, I have no idea what or where this thing comes from. It's supposed to be a monkey of some sort, I think. I have a feeling it might be from like a claymation or maybe Wallace and Gromit or something. It's weird. It's an egg though. So pop open the back, flip in the head, and then you could flip up the arms, and you flip up the legs into the rear legs, and obviously you fold up the tail. But getting some of this stuff to line up and get in is difficult. Oh, and yeah, I don't know if you could see that. There's a little bit of plastic hanging off of that. So let me cut that off real quick. All right, there we go. Now that works. Fold those legs up, close that down, and it's supposed to peg into place in the neck there. Doesn't really want to, but screw it. Yeah, we got this little egg. Yeah, that works. Honestly, it looks like an egg that's getting ready to poop. I don't know. But yeah, it's a tiny little egg, and it works. Next up is this Oversized Legends class Megatron. And this mold was from like a decade ago, I think. Tank mode is perfectly fine. Head or turret is able to turn 360 almost. Little things do get in the way, like the feet of the robot mode do have a tendency to pop up. But yeah, it does work. The only thing I don't like about it is, I mean, I don't know how they managed to make that hollow, but oh well. Transformation is exactly the same as that original figure. Come to the back, split it apart, and split the front apart, and fold out everything to form the legs. Fold the feet up, and then collapse the sides in to form the lower legs. Oh, and you might have just seen that piece fall off. Yeah. Every time I transform this little guy, or this guy, pieces fall off. And then grab the turret and unpeg it, which is a lot easier said than done. Push the chest in, and then fold the shoulders all the way back until they snap into place. And then turn the arms. And we have a very large version of that original Legends class Megatron figure. Head sculpt is pretty darn good. Chest is really good. I love the pseudo-tribal Decepticon symbol. And the paint is really good. Plastic feels super cheap, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine. And then we have this little barrage that, even to this day, I still hate this design. You have to open up the legs. You could do the splits on the back in order to open that up, but yeah, it's a dumb design that Hasbro really should have rethought, but I get what they were going for. And yes, you can flip out the peg and mount the little bug guy on the wrist or on the forearm. So there's that. So we've got Megatron, and then we've got this giant Optimus Prime. This giant Optimus Prime comes with a giant gun, specifically this thing, which I haven't really found a place to put it. Maybe it can peg in back here. Nope. I haven't found any peg holes that can actually hold this giant rifle. And no, it does not fit underneath. It's just too darn long. These two, Megatron and Prime, also came with this Combiner Wars gun. I have no idea which one this was to. I can't remember if it was to Prime or if it was to Megatron, but it fits in both of their hands. Prime's transformation, pretty easy. Just come to the side and unpeg these sections. So then pull the sides and shoulders out, a la traditional Optimus Prime transformation. Reach behind and flip up the head. Turn the figure around 180 degrees, and then push the hips down and snap them into place. And then we have a Legends Class Prime, but biggened. Biggened? Yes, that works. The overall aesthetic works okay. Paint is actually pretty decent. Just doesn't feel great. There's like this pseudo die cast going on up here, and it's that metallic painted plastic. It's really weird. But yeah, we got two very large Legends class Optimus Prime and Megatron, which, you know what? For the price of very, very cheap, these are pretty cool. Next up is this train, the LDCX CR300BF. And yeah, there's a robot under there, but it's a really nice looking train. I really like the train mode. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like you can hitch this train to anything. It's just lacking a hitch. The toy rolls very easily, which is great. It's got plenty of clearance, and it's on these big plastic wheels. And it also comes with a very nice book. And apparently all of the LDCX Super Train figures come with this booklet, and it's really making me want to pick up a few. Like, not that one. I think that's a little plain. Definitely the FD, whatever that stands for. This CRH1A pretty much just splits apart into multiple compartments. That one has some big guns. That one's got some big guns. That's a wolf. I think this is supposed to be a Pegasus there on the chest. Don't know for sure. And then we got an elephant with giant cannons. I kind of wish I got that one. And then this one is I'm assuming that's a bear. That explains the head sculpt. And that's it for all of them. That was all the trains. So to transform, grab the entire front half of the train, pull the bottom half back, come to the very back and flip down. Come to the very back and pull those pieces out, and that's actually harder than you might think. And then flip down the toes, and then grab the legs and split them apart. And for some reason, the legs can do this, which just looks awful. So I normally go one click down or one click out just to make it look better. And then we've got a rail racer situation up here. Just split the entire front of the train, turn them to the sides, and then fold down the arms. And be careful of the left arm, because if I turn the left arm a certain way, it pops out of place off the mushroom peg. Turn that, reach inside, and flip up these clear pieces, which look pretty cool. And then finally, there's a button on his butt, and that button pops the head out. And as the train bots go, this is pretty cool. The powder blue and sallow yellow and then the charcoal black go very well together. Yes, it looks a little weird, but I like it. I do. The head sculpt, pretty good. Not as good as the art made it look out to be. And then there's the horse with wings, so I'm assuming a Pegasus. So, yeah, that's about it. Posability-wise, head does not move. Legs have that weird posability, which I'm going to put it in its squat mode. That looks silly. That looks absolutely silly. And then shoulders rotate, arms rotate, and then there is a bend at the elbow, and rotating that arm pops it out. I'll have to take it apart so I can actually get the mushroom peg off and then sand down whatever's making that pop out. The only complaint I have are the shoulders don't line up. See, the figure's left shoulder, the ratchet is a little bit busted, so it leans forward, which is a pain, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. So yeah, cute little robot. I like the look of it. Definitely a train. Kind of wish I got more of these, because some of them look really cool. Next up, we're going to take a look at some Plants vs. Zombies figures. So each one of these four of the cars have these little plants in them that have firing missiles, and then they each have these little vehicles. This is, I guess, supposed to be a rocket ship of some sort. Oh, and guess what? They all do combine. We'll get into that in a minute. So there is the one arm, and here is the other arm, is this VTOL looking thing. I swear these first two look like theme park rides. And then we have the two Jeeps that are exactly the same, just different colors. And they both have the ability to pop the rear of the vehicle mode off for some reason. This has no function whatsoever. In fact, in order for the combined mode, you have to leave those backs on. And then finally, the pea shooter with a little boat. Oh, and there's one other thing this set comes with. A giant honking piece of robotic overalls that's completely hollow inside. So for the merger into the giant robot mode, we first have to come to the Jeeps and remove the plants and just put them off to the side. And then there are holes on the bottom of the overalls that the Jeeps will plug into. And then the ship will drop into the center of the top, and that will snap into place. And then the arms will peg into the sides, and you can leave whomever is attached to the arms on the actual arms. And, oh, I have them backwards, because the fists need to point a certain way. Just peg those suckers in, and there we go. And here we have Plant vs. Zombie Mecha, which is actually pretty cool. I like it. It is bigger than a current Voyager class figure, so here's a battle trap I just grabbed. And here is the Fallen, and so it's roughly the same size as a current Leader class figure. Now let's talk about the plants. Each individual plant comes with a missile launcher, and all of these missile launchers are very strong, and they shoot really well. Die, Autobots! I said die, Autobots! Please die. One more. Darn it, you're not dead. The missiles are all compatible with all the different plants, and each plant has a nice tight spring that shoots the thing pretty darn far. That was a good 4 feet in the air. It curved, though, because I was pointing the wrong way. So, yeah, I mean, these things, as little figures with a ability to combine and then shoot missiles, which we don't have enough in toys of that in toys anymore. Yeah, the set's pretty neat. And finally, we have Glory Alliance version 2 or V2 Thunder. Now, the 4 Glory Alliance figures, or 5 or 6 of them, they all have this gimmick of the figures, the robots, transforming into heads that then combine with other, robots. And I've already reviewed green and purple, and I got yellow in a grab bag of stuff, and I've actually got his actual robot coming. It's currently stuck in the mail. But overall, the coloring works. The black on yellow is really nice. The cream, or the dark colored cream, works well. It comes with a sword, little blue there, and then blue in the eyes and at the top of the head. Overall, it's a nice looking robot figure that also has a good looking back. It's very clean. Unfortunately, it just has a tendency to fall over really easily. It's also superposable. And it comes with a giant butter knife. Okay, it comes with a giant serrated knife, sword, which I like. I like it a lot. The sword can also be stored in the stand. And you can just turn the stand over and plug the sword underneath, like so. I greatly appreciate weapon storage. The figure was standing on the stand, and the feet do plug into these two raised areas, but it doesn't stay on there very tightly. In fact, tight is not something I would describe this figure as. Posability includes ball joint in the head, and there's one in the collar, and then one in the head. It can look up and down a little bit. Ball joint in the shoulder, swivel at just above the elbow. Elbow bends at 90 degrees. Fists do swivel. There is no torso articulation because of the transformation, but the front skirt does flip forward, allowing for plenty of kicking back and forth. And then it can do the beautiful spread, almost 100%. Thigh swivel, bend at the knee is pretty darn good. And then there is a ball joint in the ankle. The problem is his heels aren't big enough. So the looseness in some of the hips, the right hip of my figure is very loose. Not noodles, but close to it. And the left hip is just a little bit tighter. But the figure's feet are too dang small. These feet need bigger heels and slightly tighter ball joints. Because every time I try to pose this stupid thing, it ends up falling over. Unless I go ramrod straight and kind of curving it and pointing it forward. But if I go for something more dynamic, then I can get it. It's just, it doesn't want to stay posed. I can sometimes get it, but come on. Okay, I got it. But as soon as I pick it up, yep, leg moved. As soon as I picked it up, I just picked it up and the leg moved. But you can pose it. You just gotta be careful and patient. For the transformation into head mode, we're going to grab the backpack and unpeg it from the back. And yes, that is a battery pack you see right there. Come to the front of the figure, grab the shoulder, and fold it back. And fold them both back, actually. Bend the elbows all the way. And then there's a little peg hole in the wrist that will peg into that little peg under the abdomen. And you want to get it so that the fist slides in under or to the side of the tummy and then peg it in. It's not a very tight peg. So do that on both sides, and you will have to futz with it just a little bit. Take the head, bend it back, and then push it back again so it's looking straight up in the air. Grab the legs, and then there are these tabs coming off the bottom of the forearms. They will peg into the back of the thighs, and then there's a peg coming off the back of the lower leg that will peg into the upper arm. Then that piece that we pulled off the back that I thought could be a shield in robot mode, it can't. We'll peg into these slots that are up by the collarbone, and then take the chest and push the chest all the way up, and we've got a head, and we've got lights. The battery-powered lights I do appreciate, but they're not that strong unless you turn the lights out, and even then they just kind of flicker. Can I get it to... Okay, there we go. One click. Oh, no, it's already flickering now. I would have liked it if it could stay a solid light, but that's okay, no big deal. Then there is a peg in the front and two pegs in the back that will peg into the crotch of the bottom of the... That front peg will peg into the bottom of the crotch, and then these two peg holes where the knees are. And they're not exactly tight, so don't worry if you don't get them perfect, but you do want to try and get them lined up. I do find that whenever I try and push it down, it does pop things off, and you've got this cute little head on a stick. And then you've got this cute little head on a plate. I kind of like it. I'm tempted to see if I could track down the other Glory Alliance heads. So all of these figures are pretty cool, and I want to thank SirToys for throwing all of this stuff into a recent series of purchases. According to them, I was one of the last 3 people to order from them before they shut down, which is kind of bittersweet. I mean, it really is. I've been buying stuff from SirToys for almost as long as they've been in business, really. First thing I ever bought from them was that Shrine Warriors set, and that was almost over 10 years ago. So, SirToys, thank you so much for existing, and thank you for these figures. They're a ton of fun, and I hope everything goes well for you folks in the future. And speaking of the future, folks, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and hit the notification bell. Now, just a quick word, many of you out there have said that you haven't been getting the notifications, and that has to do with you subscribing when my channel was set to 4 kids back in 2020. If you still cannot view comments, or you cannot get notifications, go to my channel, unsubscribe, close your browser window or your tab, open a new tab, go back to YouTube, and then resubscribe, and that will reset your connection to me. I realize that's a pain in the butt, but it's going to help me out immensely. Thanks for watching. I've been Baltmatrix. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.